My name is Blessed, and the Godfather is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth to the way of sinners. I don't know the thing go. We keep it real every day. Okay?
Live interview with the Godfather. Keep it real.
Nearly 1 o'clock, my people. Nearly 1 o'clock. We're going to go and venture down to Birmingham to talk to the big man himself. Of course, man called Mr. Yeah. She wants... Okay. All right. She says, play one more tune before you're calling the big man. Well, all right. No bigger than the MBE. Of course, Janet K. Oh, you mean? Oh, you... yes, me dear. All right. Easy now. So, we talk to Carl, other known as Father Quaker. I'm talking to the Godfather in a short while. Don't forget, tomorrow, 3 till 6. Another show from the Godfather once again. We'll be playing different style of music. I don't think I'll be playing any vinyls. I don't make up my mind yet, I don't make up my mind yet. But, yeah, we could do it again. But tomorrow, Godfather when Irie talks, the Godfather, the voice of Wolverhampton. Tomorrow from the hours of 3 till 6. Interview starts at 4 o'clock, my people. Tell a friend, link the link, make it strong. We played this one before we bring in the big man himself. Man called, of course, Father Quaker. One day I'll fly. Janet K, MBE, I tell you. We'll be talking to the big man himself, Quaker. Now this man has heard every rhythm that you've heard on streets right now. That's right. This man can tell you about rhythms on top of rhythms. A brief conversation, he tells me that all the new songs that you're hearing nowadays are rhythms that's been done by foundations of many producers back in the days. Nothing's new nowadays. It all has been revamped. But we can go into further information on that with him in a short while. Stand by for Father Quaker.
Godfather. The weekend sounds great.
Godfather is the man.
For your listening pleasure.
You've got all the money. That's why you won't come tell me you are better than me.
Sounds of Quaker City coming to you right now. Play this tune just to bring him in. We're bringing him in. We're bringing him in. We got to bring him in. All right.
The Godfather. The weekend sounds great.
You're feeling to yourself, you've got all the money. That's why you won't come tell me you are better than me. But no, you are just somebody, just like me. The Father doesn't make no one different from no one. Everyone is just the same, whether we are black.
Good afternoon to you, Father Quaker. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon. Hold on a minute. Let me just block the call, yeah?
Okay. Yeah, man. Leroy Smart for the massive of people. scholarradio.org.uk. Father Quaker live inside the place this afternoon on the Keep It Real show. Yes, my brother. Yes, Pops. Enough respect to you, sir. Thank you for finding time to be on the Keep It Real Sunday show here on scholarradio.org.uk. It's an honor and a pleasure to have the voice of a man from out of Birmingham who's been around South System for a long, long time. You've been here from the early days of the 19. When did you come to England from Jamaica? You were born in Montego Bay. When did you come to England?
1960.
Okay. At what point of did you have any sound system knowledge at that time before you came here?
Plenty.
Tell us a little bit. Give us a little bit.
Plenty of knowledge from before I came here because around I born up and grew up in around sound system, you know.
Mm-hmm. And also at that time, was there a particular sound in the 1960s before you came here was your favorite sound?
You mean in England?
No, in Jamaica. Before you came over, yeah.
In Montego Bay there was Trojan, and there was the next one they called Mellow Moonlight, and there was one they called Quaker. That's the sound I follow. That's the sound I patronize and take my name from.
Okay, and on your journey from Jamaica to England, at what point did you decide to create your sound system?
Well, when I come home from Jamaica, I bring some record with me because we used to have a shop and we take out, when Chin from Kingston come change one record, so we have keep back some of the music. And we have quite a few 45, yeah? Mm-hmm. That was jukebox music. And when I come in on the Husky and I did have around 15 or 45, and they have a radiogram inside of the dance, in the mess room, them call it, on the boat, and two guys from Kingston who did a record with them. We go in and we would have take it turns and play the record them at night time to entertain all the people around us like.
And that wasn't on the boat when you came over to England. So you came over
on the boat, the Husky.
Okay, so how many days were you on the boat before you came over to England?
and there were 6 weeks.
Wow, 6 weeks on the ship?
Yeah, because what happened when the boat reached to Curacao, one of the propeller blade broke off. And for them to get a propeller blade for it, they have to drift, to carry on a journey. And so I go to 8 different countries. I'm going to come off at one or two of them. And then they come to 4 to France and the boat go and dry dock. And they change the propeller blade and then we head to England, Southampton.
Okay, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
If there wasn't any issues at the time, what was the original plan for the time for the ship to reach England originally?
Some 2 weeks and a few days.
Okay, but this took an extra couple more weeks. Well, all right. So you came to England in 1960, and that time when you came in, the time when things was grey and green and dark and dusty and wet.
Everything was black.
Well, put it this way.
It was black and miserable, you know.
Let me ask you a question. Before you came over this country, what was you told about the motherland they call England? What was your thoughts on it, and what was your parents talking about England about?
You know, to be honest, I did never thought I was a carefree guy. I have no thinking of all. It's just one evening I come in from work and my mother laughing and says, my father want me to come and spend Christmas with them.
So your father...
That could come and spend Christmas.
Okay.
Because my dad was here. That time my old lady done wheel it up, decide to send me out because they said they don't want me to turn rude boy. Because I was going a trade, I was learning the mechanical trade at that time.
Okay.
I was around a year in the mechanic trade.
Okay. All right.
So take it from there.
Okay. So you came to England in 1960. And at that point, was there anybody else that you noticed was playing music that gave you the inspiration to go a bit more further?
Yes. When I came here the second week, I go to me and you guys and we to a party, but this little party we go, we see a man have one. It was like a little gramophone turntable, and you could hardly hear the speaker then coming out of the gramophone, and him playing some records, some rhythm and blues record, and some pop, some funk and all them stuff there. And the people, man, very rare you'd get a reggae music in it. Well, not reggae at the time. You'd get a mento or
a calypso or something like that.
Yeah, you'd get a mento, or probably you'd call it Jamaican calypso, you know?
Yes. So after experiencing some of those things right now, at what point and who gave you the heads up to say, yo, I want to go a little bit more further than just what I've been doing with these little stereos, right, whatever? When
I decided to start the sound is when I see people didn't have anywhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
And the few house blues what they have radiogram and all, a lot of radiogram was around playing. And people going to this blues that party and a Saturday night time, and they have 10 or 12 party in the area, and they are all packed out. You may have two little, well, call it sound at the time was playing, but nothing because neither the people used to cover the music. You could hardly hear it.
Okay.
Right, so you did have a couple of songs at the time. You did have like Duke Sonny and Duke Neville and Salah from Wolverhampton. And in West Bromwich you have Count Fire, you have Barber, Sir Barber, and Lord Pallian and Lord Gillian, all these guys.
Okay.
So in Anzert now, and I decided where Sonny and Duke Neville was that I'm gonna build a sound because the sound that they have, it wasn't what I used to, because I used to go a big dance hall, go hear big sound, they play 8, 9, 10 speaker box around in the hall.
And that was back in Jamaica at the time.
That was back in Jamaica in the 50s.
So the thing I'm going to ask you right now, if you came here and still you saw the man build sound system and still use the little things, then why did they have speakers and so forth so small?
Yeah, but you couldn't get it because I'm gonna.
Okay.
It's early days to tell you about that. Later
okay.
on
Yeah.
the program I can tell you about that.
Okay.
You could hardly get it because in Jamaica you lucky you find a 15.
Oh, so there wasn't an 18-inch at the time, back in them days?
Very rare. And our 18-inch speaker they use those speakers and submarine, yes, the signal and there's another thing for it.
Okay.
You see, so they use 18, but it's a long story. I can pinpoint and tell you exactly.
Oh, okay. As we go along. Okay. All right. So you saw the sound system there in England with the little small sound system, etc. So you wanted to.
There wasn't a sound system. There was sound, just some little sound.
Okay. Right? Go ahead.
So the sound system what I did see, I just called the name. Count Fire. Have a little table amplifier what a white guy Bill named Greensleeve and Bill. and Sir Baba have a standing amplifier what legs from come up from London and build it for him was a 300 or 200 at the time. So that was a big sound.
Okay, and at that time, were there valve amps at the time?
There was all valve amp. Transistorized did not come in until in the late 80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Live interview with the Godfather. Keep it real.
My name is Blessed, and the Godfather is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth to the way of sinners. I don't know the thing go. We keep it real every day. Okay?
So from there you find when I decided that I'm gonna build a sound and come out, I built it in the idea of coming to play in the clubs and all dance and all these things. Although there, when you do see a dance keep at all, it was very rare. And the only place in Birmingham used to keep shows was Andy Hamilton used to have the Tower Ballroom. And down the St. John's restaurant, what they used to call the Irish Center.
Okay.
Those was the only two places black people did have to go to on a holiday to have anything in function. If you do have it in away from holiday like an ordinary Saturday night, it finishes at 10 o'clock and you have to get out there by 10:30.
So at that time, there wasn't anything for 2 o'clock to finish at 2 o'clock, so you had to finish it early.
Are you joking? You gotta be in your bed.
What was the curfew time at the time was before sound system really took the streets at night time? What was it like, especially in Birmingham, obviously being the second biggest city in England? What was the vibes like for you at the early days, party-wise?
You have a whole heap of house blues to go, plenty. If you go to West Bromwich, you may have 5 dance from Beaches Road. You're in Birmingham, you do have one from Mustin Road, you have Richmond Road, you have Tarnhill Road, you have a party all over the place. But these are very small little set playing. And I tell you what, there wasn't, this sound speaker box was not big, then just put them on a little table or some chairs.
Okay.
And it's 10-inch and 12-inch speaker. Very rare you see a man with a 15 or a 12.
Wow.
Or a 18.
Wow. Interesting, right? Yeah. Carry on.
So when I decided to build my sound, I was working in a garage down in town, right? And there was an old army shop was there.
Mm-hmm.
And the army shop, they used to sell return things what they take from army, things like valves and electrical components and all these things.
Okay.
It was Earth Street at the bottom. You remember the discreet?
Not necessarily, no, but if I probably,
right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Inside the discreet record shop.
Okay.
And I decided, and when I ordered the amplifier from Legs, I always go in there looking to see if I see any speaker or anything interested to us to put together to build the sound. And the man called me around about Mr. Mai, and he said to me, says, "You asking me about speakers? Come and have a look at this." And when I went round the back, the man showed me an 18-inch long back Goodman.
Wow.
And my eyes was pulping out my head.
So at that time, how many watts were there at the time?
50 watts.
50 watt, 18-inch speaker. Wow.
18-inch,
wow.
50 watts. And I says, "You want to sell it?" He says, "It's yours if you ask me about it." I says to him, I said, "I want another 2 if I can, or 3 more." And he turned to me and said, "What the hell are you going to do with it? Go Wembley or what?"
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So I picked the speaker up in the evening and I rushed back home lunchtime, tea break, sorry, because I wasn't living far away, and I picked up the £20. That was a lot of money.
So £20 at the time for an 18-inch 50 watt was the price. What year was that again?
That's his 60. That was coming up to in the 60, beginning of 66, because I come on road the 23rd of July 1966. So it was the beginning of that.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Okay.
So I came up with it and I take the speaker off him. And when I start inquire, Sir Baba in West Bromwich did have a couple of 18. And now I come to know that because Legs was building his amplifier at the time.
Okay.
There's a guy used to play at Woodward Club in Soul Road named Flyer.
Flyer. Okay.
Flyer, he went away to America. He used to have an 18 as well in one box they call the House of Joy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Nobody else didn't have any 18 more than 15. It's long after when around in the beginning of the late 80, the late 68, 69, 70, 18-inch start to flourish about the place.
Okay.
Spread that gospel around England.
And when more speakers that size came out, then the watches became a little bit more higher.
Well, Goodman is the first, because there was Goodman and Fane was the star speaker at the time.
Okay.
But Goodman was more a better speaker, and there was all 15 ohms, 50 watt.
Okay.
And then Goodman stepped up from 50 watt to the P100. And Fane go and Fane make the pop 100.
So when did Laskis bring in their speakers?
They late after that.
Okay.
Because I as a sound man, I use the top of the range speaker you try to use, because that's where you get proper sound.
Okay.
The speaker at the time before Goodman's and Fane was Wharfdale. But Wharfdale did not do a 18, they only do pure 12 and 15. And the 15 was very scarce.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Okay, interesting. I'm sure that a lot of listeners out there, especially many of the soundmen them who wasn't around at the time, but later on in the years, have learned something from yourself this afternoon here right now.
Well, I hope they do, because the way some of them behave is like you can't teach them anything, and then using my knowledge, what I'm giving you now, and working amongst it and telling you these things.
Yeah, to understand how things were back in them days.
Yeah.
And that's a legacy that many of sound system people like yourself, I would like them to share their experiences about what they were up to and what they did at the time when sound system had started at that peak. And for you, in Birmingham, you became the biggest sound at the time. You became the biggest sound in Birmingham and the toughest.
Well, why I have to be the toughest and the biggest sound in Birmingham at the time? I am the man who bring the technology to that level in England. Don't care what we're talking about, London and all these things. There was just pure mouth was going on. They was not doing the thing where it's supposed to be done.
But surely the capital of London and Birmingham are two different places, 100 miles apart nearly. Surely there would have been somebody else in London doing the same thing as you.
Yes, because there was let me put them in sequence. I don't want to call before the other. There was guy.
Go ahead.
There was guy like Suckle, right? These guys who actually come here in the early days, and oh God, he come out. I mean, my mouth now.
He'll come back.
Yeah, right. Juvin, sorry, those supposed to be the two pioneers who bring the sound system thing come to England.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to Suckle in the early days when I was just coming out. I spoke to Juvin, but between the two of them, it's like what happening now. One says him bring first and the other says bring first. So I don't know who bring from who didn't bring. Because they're fighting against each other. He said they was the first one. But I know the two of them was the first sound system that come up in London before everybody start build. And there wasn't a big sound. There was just some little sound. It's long after it starts step up when man like Neville Enchanter, Duke Reed, Fanso, Count Shelley, these sort of guys start bring up big sound, take it up to a higher level.
You know, before you go any further, at the time when this man says to you he's got some speakers to show you, and then he realized what the potential that usage they would have for other people, How did other sound systems catch on to the fact that you can get an 18-inch that large with such a high wattage at that time?
Yes, because you see, everything in those days, with sound system, you have to be very private. You can't tell everybody nothing at all what you do, because people come out to build, to watch you, to watch what you do, to copy you, to go and do the same thing.
Right.
Right? So when I find Mr. Miles and get the speaker, I wouldn't tell anybody where I get my from, because I have to keep that secret.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, you find the word going out, and they keep asking for this, and they're going into these shop and asking for certain speakers, certain type of needles, certain type of cartridges, because they see the other man have it. You see, that's why you have to hide these things. You could show it.
Okay. So let's talk about the facilities on your sound system. You had your speakers, and you had, what type of tweeters were you using at the time?
Don't use tweeter. Until this day, I don't use tweeter. Never use a tweeter speaker.
So what, you use, the bullet?
No, I don't use those sort of stone. I don't play music.
Okay, so what? Okay, so tell us about your top end then.
My top end is one of the most terribly top end you can think in music industry. At Tanner, I used to play my top end.
Okay, Tanner, yes.
Say no more.
Of course, say no more. I ain't gonna say nothing else on top of that, because that's top of tops, that is. So, in terms of your equipment, what type of turntable was the one that was doing things for sound system at the time?
In the sound system turntable at the time, there was the Lenko 4HF, and then the Garrard 4HF, and the Lenko 78. Sorry, good. And then you did have a next one. We call the Linux, but they didn't last very long. But the Lenko, you cannot beat the Lenko and the Garrard. The only trouble with the Lenko, it rolls, it grumbles a bit, but the Garrard just do everything what it's supposed to do.
The Garrard sit down firm and strong.
Sit down firm, and on the Garrard you can track at 1 milligram, or even 1.75 gram. You can track very light with it.
But at the time when sound systems were around, and I suppose at the time most of the buildings you were playing at had wooden flooring, so the turntable had to be a very strong base.
No, well, what I used to do, I used to use not foam. I used to use foam rubber, the spongy rubber.
Okay.
And I put my turntable on that, so the shock of the floor doesn't interrupt it. You see, go back. You don't use the foam. You use the foam rubber. The rubber.
Okay. A lot of people using the foam and still got the rumble.
The foam cannot stop the shock what coming from the base.
Okay.
But the foam rubber stop it.
Okay. So let's move on then, because obviously things were happening for you at the time. You became known as an awful, terrible sound system operator, Quaker City. Birmingham had a number of different sounds around. People like Zion. Was he around at the time you was? Father Pop, Pops himself.
Zion come late. You have to call. You have to talk about the man named what I would have followed.
Okay, well, let's go with that then.
In sound system, don't care how much you think you know. The other man who running a sound as well have a little edge where you do something or you don't see or know of. So in my time before I come out with sound, I have men like the Duke, the two Duke, Neville and Sonny to encounter with. Mm-hmm. That was in Anzert. I have man in West Birmingham like Sir Barber, Palian, Count Fire, Linda, Monarch. I have all these guys. This is in Birmingham. And then in over in Saddam, that is Baslit, I have Duke Alive, but at the time it wasn't Duke Alive. His name was Prince Was.
Live interview with the Godfather. Keep it real.
Prince Was.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about him tomorrow. The history of King Ali. So that's going to be interesting.
King Ali was there before me.
He was there before you, but not as big as...
He was there before me. And away from Sir Baba did have one of the heavier sound in Birmingham. That was in West Bromwich. Ally was the other one who did have over in Basleet.
Okay.
So as far as Big Sound was concerned in the Midland was Ally Basleet and Sir Baba in West Bromwich.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So when I coming out with sound, I come out and coming into a package of fear. And the package of fear is this. When Coxon or Reed or Tom Great Sebastian coming from Kingston to come to Montego Bay, come play a sound down there, them have to come good.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first night when I am going to come out to play a sound, I come out and play a sound with a man from West Bromwich named Count Fire.
And that was your first clash?
That was my first clash, first play out.
And that year was 1966?
1966, the 23rd of July.
Okay.
The factory, they was working at the beans. One worked at beans and one was working at painting shop. So all these people then get together because those days, you know, the blacks were more unite. It's not like now everybody's stray and they fight against each other.
So at the time, the people from Jamaica and other Caribbean islands, they were more united at the time.
There was more united.
Yeah.
They're not now. They're not now.
Yeah, I understand. So that time, your first clash. Tell us a bit about your first clash.
Yeah, the first clash, that Saturday night, I will never forget. I go downstairs and I string up around 2 o'clock and do a sound check as usual.
Yeah.
Because in Jamaica, when the sound go and play out on the night, from around 4 o'clock, the sound operator would string up the set and pump some music to get the feel of it, you know?
Yes, yes.
I string up the nights, and when I string up, this is this excitement what come out in a sound system now. First night, the first time I come out there, I bring 4 speaker box, 318 and 115. Nobody have that to go in a Birmingham to play a sound.
Okay.
No one.
So
the night when that come out,
yeah.
The word what was every time a person come through the door, then say, Jesus Christ is a man I'm going to blow the house tonight. Because they never see so much speaker box in a one place.
So you brought in
318 and a 15. So that is 4 speaker box.
Okay. So
enough of the other man them could only play 2 box or 3 box.
So your opponent in your first clash didn't have the size of speakers that you had?
No, Fire did not have it.
Wow.
He have sound before me, but they did not have it.
Okay.
And the beauty about it again, what was taking place at the time, I make my box. I design and make my speaker boxes.
Okay. Okay.
So that was my advantage.
Let the audience know at the time to run those speakers at the time, what amplifier, valve amp, what it was at the time.
My amplifier, what I would use at the time was 100 watts.
Valve amp.
Valve amp.
Okay. And that was enough to push those 4 speakers.
Yes, because there was only 50 watts, sorry.
Yeah, of course. So they were pushing out 25 each side.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what about what type of preamp did you have? Did you have a mixer or a preamp?
No, mixer and those things never exist yet. All and all was there out there was just a preamp, and the preamp have 3 valves in it. ECC 82, 2 of them, and 610-7, and EC 83 or 84.
So it had the basic stereo combination of a volume, bass and treble, and balance.
Yeah, you have 4 volume on it. You have 1 for the microphone, you have 1 for the volume, you have 1 for the bass, and you have 1 for the treble.
Wow. Simple as that.
Simple as that.
No graphic equalizer.
No, those things never existed.
Never existed. The impression of how things were back in them days and sound system back in the days, it was just basic. Wow.
So when I leave Legs, the Giant, because he's the first man who built a sound for me and put me on the road, yes?
Yes.
When I leave Legs and I decide to build a bigger sound to come out on the road, more stronger. The man who put me on the pinnacle now is Errol Anthony Prettiger. He decided to build me a 300-watt valve.
Valve amp.
The very, very first time in history.
In England?
In England, I'm talking about.
Yes.
Anybody know anything about transistorized preamplifier? I was the man who get it first. Coxon get after and Tubby's get after. Me bring it first, come out, come play.
And we're talking about the transistorized, are we?
Transistorized.
I can remember. Can you remember? And tell me if let's see if we're on the same page here right now. I can remember when Coxon spent 6 months in 6 or 7 club in Wolverhampton.
Well, all those things are history.
Yes, and Coxon came in one night, a Sunday night, with the first transistorized him get.
Mm-hmm.
And
preamp or amplifier?
Eh?
Which one of them? The preamp or the amplifier?
The amplifier.
Okay.
Yeah, because then time they used to use the nice box with the springs to get the nice.
Well, all right. All those things was introduced by me in Birmingham, because Coxon builder is my builder.
Okay.
And anything Coxon or Tubby's or Neville have, I have it.
Okay. So what about so the big sounds got caught on the fact that you were getting these things. Coxon was one of them. Another sound. What about Sir Christopher? Was he on the same platform as you?
No. Christopher, nice sound, man. Nice guy, nice everything. But him way behind him. Christopher come out 4 years after me. And him have a good set, but he wasn't up on that level. Him have music to play, but you can't play music and don't have sound.
Okay.
And when him do to get him sound right, the selectors and my man around him wasn't up to that level then either. So that was a problem as well.
So Coxon and yourself, Quaker City, and we have to put in Sir Christopher and also Josh Shaka, all used to meet at a venue in Northampton.
Yes.
How did that come about? Because that time, anytime you guys played at Northampton, that place was full. It was a total sound system.
Right. We play at the barracks. It's a army center where they do army drill, yeah?
Okay.
Christopher never turned up on the dance. Coxon never turned up on the dance. It was me and Josh Shaka alone play.
Wow.
And the dance was as usual, rammed out. I remember the night.
Wow.
This is the next thing about it as well. Oh boy. Bless him soul.
Yeah, man.
Stop. To a Shaka 18 inch, them drop off of the baffle board.
Okay. So they never screwing good enough then.
Yeah, because him use nail, he never use bolt.
Nails to hold up his speakers. Okay, but them time.
Then the following month, Christopher and Coxon play down there. But when we work it out, there was a little standoff in the session what was to take place before.
Okay.
Because in those days when you're playing sound, and if you don't hope to scratch to go to facing that man pan that night, you're gonna get your ass kicked.
Okay. And
when you get your ass kicked, it's a serious thing. It's not like now when you go and you put a beating onto a man, it comes out and grin like nothing, no big thing, nothing going on. They don't know what it's all about.
Okay.
Yeah.
But them days when sounds didn't sound proper, back in them days, you had to turn off. Because the people...
Well, you see what I'm saying now. In those days, you go there and you don't play right, the man, they turn you off.
Turn you off. You don't keep playing and interrupt the dance and behave in a bad mind way.
Exactly. You see, so it's a different thing now, and to the new style of entertainment now, they think it's the best way of doing it, but it's not. Well,
sound system of today is a total different era right now.
But there's no sound system about anymore, brother. There's only a couple sound system. It's PA system they have around playing now.
That's true. That's a true word. That's a true word.
I'm telling the world there's no sound. Couple sound system is about all the sound that out there playing is PA system.
Because no workmanship has gone into the effort to build a proper sound, is it?
Yeah, and of course. And do you know how this PA system comes in?
Go
PA
ahead.
system comes in the early 60s, where the group guys them was, the white guys them was so mad about where the hell we get this bass line and this type of mid-range and tops coming from.
Okay, so at the time, so at the time, the PA man then for stage shows and so forth wasn't even using the equipment that you had.
Exactly, they want to know, so they go now and they build these Marshall and Musket amplifier, what they used to play guitar and then raise the power and link up quite a few of them together. So, but they're not dropping the bass note. They have power making no noise.
Okay.
So all those things they was building it is to build to play out in hope me here.
Yes. For the sound to carry in terms of mid-range and tops.
The sound to carry to so a distance for people to hear.
Yes.
And this is why they go back and create this bin setup again, the bass bin, to show the sound even more noisy and louder.
But the bass, the bins that they used to make in them days was more like a flat bass. It wasn't a round bass.
No, because I don't use them bin business and either, you know.
Okay. The valve amps. Let's give the audience a definition of the valve amp and the transistorized. Give them your definition of what type each one plays.
Right. A valve amp is a DC volts. It's not as strong as the transistor. The transistor is much more forceful because it's the AC.
Okay.
Right. Now, where the valve have the clarity is the depth. You can drop it down very low and it still responds with that warm kick.
And this is all about the homage, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Transistor, you cannot do that. You have to have it up high. So the minute you put anything, you have to open the volume.
Turn it up. Yeah.
You have to turn it up.
Okay. Many sound systems back in the 70s. I can remember many sounds had valve amps, you know, and the generation of the younger generation, after you've come to this country, all the youngsters who were born in this country, followed a trend like yourself. We used to look upon sounds like yourself and many other sounds. Now, one thing about your sound system was the unique style of boxes that you used to have.
Because I create them, I design them.
Right, and these were like antique, varnish, painted plywood boxes. Yeah?
Yeah.
And I thought all these years, that somewhere along the line, you were probably families or cousins or something, Baron from Manchester, because they got the same boxes as you.
They're not Baron alone. Everybody, there's not a sound man in England who don't copy Quaker City boxes.
I hear you, but from what I saw, I saw Baron's looking like yours, but Baron is a sound system that used a lot of, he didn't use valve amps, he used a lot of transistorized amplifiers. Yeah,
he used transistors.
Yes. So your sound basically, from the grassroots, had the original, authentic sound system set up from day one.
Yep.
Many sounds in Birmingham found it very difficult to compete against you, especially when you went outside of Birmingham and went to London. Tell the people a little bit about the experience you have in London.
When I used to go down to London, they didn't want me down there after I got the first 3 times.
Why was that?
No, because in London, I'll go back to Jamaica. In Jamaica, once you come from Kingston, you are the best of everything. So majority of the people who live in London, because they say it's big city, whosoever come from country is rubbish.
And that's the same mentality they have back home as well.
Right. So they bring it from back home, come to England, and that's the attitude. So when we go down to London, you have to go down there triple time better than the other man who is there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I remember the very first time I go down there, I go to Brixton Town Hall. Me and Coxton playing town hall, and I think it was Mombasa.
Yes. Berries.
Berries,
Yeah.
yes. And I'm telling you, I have to stamp my authority properly. And they couldn't believe. Everybody say, Bassa said them break down, Coxton said them break down, but they didn't break down. They just could not hold this. They just could not hold Quaker sound.
At the time, who was your mic man at the time?
Right. Well, talking, I still come into the program and stop a little bit about it. Talking about Quaker City, it's not me alone, because the men them who was around it with me to make it to be what it is today, they're past, and I have to still respect and recognize them. Say they're
Okay.
part of the foundation.
Okay. So, in respect to the ones who have been with you and passed away, we're gonna hold it there for a while, because we want to come back and talk to you for a part 2. Because I know you got more to say about the sound system and the nightclubs and the places that you used to play at and all these other people. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people you want to mention in your legacy.
Yeah.
As much as we love and respect Jashaka, as we saw the turnout that he had for his night in London, absolutely tremendous.
Yeah.
Never seen nothing like it before, and probably never see nothing like it again.
True.
In terms of, he catered for every nationality we could think about.
Yeah.
The only sound system I know with my naked eye to see a man play a last tune, and every event he ended and finished his last tune, he had a round of applause.
Yeah.
Why we don't do that?
Well, I tell you something. We are a nation where, I don't know where it's coming from, but we have a grudge belief in ourselves.
We don't like to see the next person happy or doing it or
We
doing
don't
well.
want to see, you're hitting the right note there. We don't want to see the other person successful. We don't want to see him happy. We don't want to see nothing good come from the other person. Maybe if you break down or you don't play, or you play in the last tune and it break down, they would clap then.
Isn't it down to the MC to use his initiative to create the vibes within the dance hall to make the changes?
No, I don't think so. The people, I mean, there's a corrupt feeling against our people when it comes to give the truth to one another and work with each other. We don't do that. We inclined to put majority is inclined to put you down instead of lift you, you know?
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
We don't do nothing. I appreciate what the other man is doing.
What do you,
All we have intention, well, we can do better, we can do better, and that's about it, you know?
if a man's got a nice car or something that's good,
you have a problem there because you should not have that nice car.
Well, if a person goes out there and works it hard and sweating tears and all these things and everything else,
they don't see that.
They don't feel that neither. They don't understand.
They don't want to know that.
So it's a bit like me doing my Keep It Real show from the early days, and many people would look upon me and say, "Cha, whatever." But at the end of the day, it's not about what I'm doing; it's what I am achieving. And with people like yourself and other people from the days that we can bring forward the information that we're doing here today, that people can get a little bit of understanding about how we're supposed to behave as people of color.
Yeah.
And I do believe people like yourself who's got history to tell, and I know you got more to tell us, so that's why I'm going to hold it to we're going to go for part 2. We're going to book another date, because I know for a fact many sound systems out there will love to hear what you've just discussed today. And I'm sure after we finish today, you're going to have more stuff that you want to talk about that we can bring to the table for the next interview with you. But this coming Saturday, you're bringing your sound system out for the first time for a long time.
No, it's not a long time. I play out, but I choose the dance with them as a player. And firstly, I doesn't walk and play record nor CD and go and play on nobody equipment, because that's not Quaker City.
Okay.
So if I'm gonna play out and I'm not gonna bring my amplifier, and if his place is small and I can put one speaker box there, I will be coming with the one speaker box and the amplifier and the records or my CDs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Quaker City is not a man to play on a man set and say, yeah, Quaker City.
Me not do that because me not gonna allow you to play on my set unless the only way me allow you to play on my set on the night if yours break down.
Okay.
You're welcome to come and play on my set.
But nobody will play upon your song.
But nobody no play upon my song. It's not at all.
Well, all right. This coming Saturday on the 3rd in Wolverhampton. You'll be alongside Love Injection and Massacre Esquire, all playing on their own sound.
Yes, that is good.
And like I use the word long time. I don't hear you play. Probably other people may have, but I haven't for a long time. And many other sound fraternities and people from sound system days would like to take the opportunity to come and see and probably see your sound for a long time. Same boxes, same valve amps, everything the same?
No, I'm not gonna use valves.
Okay.
No.
I know you got something else. I was informed of what you have, so we keep it. We keep that.
I'm not gonna use valves. I'm just gonna use transistor, maybe with valves. I don't know what I'm gonna use.
Well, we never know on the day. You might change your mind. So yeah. But people will come and see you on that day, to see you for a long time, take pictures, photographs, whatever, to look and to greet and meet. And it's all about getting together. Majority of Birmingham, Stafford, Coventry, and different parts of the Midlands and everywhere else will come down for that particular night.
Well, I hope they do turn up because they will be in for a good night. Well,
I'm sure for a fact you're going to put your best foot forward and make sure you sound good. I know you're going to be there from early to test out, make sure everything all right. Just like the other sounds. We're not into the situation where I turn up halfway through the dance. Sound system get a sound check, make sure everything working fine. So when the people turn up, they can get the value for their money and get a good surprise. I want to arrange another time with you and talk about more of Quaker City, and we can also talk about the event after Saturday night. So we
can say after the year we can set another time.
Yes, of course.
The strength of Quaker City, man, them they passed away, and when I'm talking on behalf of them as well.
Okay.
And I've mentioned them that
as yet.
Wrong. I talked so much already, and
nothing wrong. We have to talk about foundation before we get to the other parts. And what you've done.
It wasn't me alone. It's like say me alone do this thing.
No, man. To make the dream run, you have a good team behind you.
Yeah, man.
One man cannot be on an island.
Exactly.
Well, all right. Quaker, Father Quaker, I want to say thank you very much. You want to send any requests to anybody out there before we go?
Well, I want to thank everybody who's listening, and I hope to see them Saturday night. And they must put on the dancing shoes and come out, because they don't know if they will ever live to see or get another entertainment like that, because we're moving fast,
Yes, it is moving fast. So on that note, sir.
People jump in for anything nice coming around. But it will be all good things, because I sure the other two sound man will be coming to play them best, because they know they come play against Quaker City.
Well, we don't want to hear no boo boo. We want to hear some proper tunes. We know so you have them. We know so you have them. So we know so you go pop off some style and some tune here for a long time.
Well, I don't pop style, I just do the works what I have to do. I do it very serious, because when me playing my sound, me no am grin, me no smile,
Okay. Well, once again, thank you for being here on Vinyl Sunday. End of the month, we play vinyls all day. I want to say thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you on Saturday.
And thanks for having me, and see you Saturday. Take care.
Yeah, man. Manners and respect to you. Thank you, Father Quaker. Yeah, man. Respect.
The Godfather. The weekend sounds great.
Godfather is the man.
For your listening pleasure.
You're feeling too yourself you've got all the money. That's why you won't come tell me you are better than me. But no, you are just somebody just like me. Father doesn't make no one different from no one. Everyone is just the same, whether we are black or we are white.
Final Sundays with the Godfather, DJ Sensi, the Red Skin Levi, Mr. Fix, DJ Valentino. Final Sundays.
Keep it low. We all around.
Yes, my people.
Yes, we all around. You're feeling to yourself, you've got all the money.
Yes, my people.
That's why you won't come tell me you are better than me.
What a conversation.
But no, you are just somebody just like me.
Father Quaker talks to the Godfather.
Father doesn't make no one different from no one. Everyone is just the same, whether we are black or we are white. We all are just one nation. Don't keep on thinking about the men I want before.
I want to say to all the people on WhatsApp who send me enough information, manners and respect, I'm sure in the part 2 we can put some questions to Father Quaker in part 2 interview to be arranged soon, all right?
My name is Blessed, and the Godfather is the man that walking out in the counsel of the ungodly and standing to the way of sinners. I don't know the thing, God. We keep it real every day. Okay?
Live interview with the Godfather. Keep it real.
Okay. So they're not interested. Yeah, they are not just them, they go get arrested. Now flicker you them molested. Miss
Dominion Leisure Event proudly presents Dance Till You Drop. Big people settings with 3 of the best in the UK sound systems community, all playing on their own sounds. Love, dancehall injection with the full crew. The big man, Father Quaker City, and Jamasiah Esquire Sound with the full family. This all takes place 3rd of June 2023 from 10 p.m. till 4 a.m. Dominion Leisure Events, Sutherland Avenue, Wolverhampton, WV2 2JH. It will be £10 a ticket plus booking fee, £15 at the door. Your tickets will be available from shoobs.com, Summit Records, Birmingham, Hatman, Birmingham, Classic Cuts, Bilston, Dominion Leisure Events.